the budget, and I did let you guys know about the budget conference, that's just the sheet, so you know. Here's somewhere that wire that we keep finding on the floor. Gentlemen, I don't know where it's coming from, but I think I told you about it.
It's weird.
You were guarding. Hey, how are you?
Good morning.
Why, that was just like something
So, we're back from executive session, no action taken. Next on the agenda is a discussion of our EMS agreement and possibly voting on that.
Morning.
Morning, Peter.
You should all have in your packet a signature-ready EMS agreement.
Yep.
So that will get the present disagreement between the city of Junction City and Board of County Commissioners resolved. The term of the agreement is a 5-year term. There is in the event parties come up with a better solution, there's a 2-year termination provision. Any questions?
No, I just feel like the relief of having, I know we had to go to mediation to get to this point, but I think that based on just some of the, the past things, and there were just, I just feel we needed this to get us to this point, and I appreciate all the hard work on both sides. I know it got a little tense, and I am extremely, I think, relieved that we've got to this point, and I think that having a joint EMS is the best way for our community. I mean, I've worked with the EMS and fire department for years, and I can honestly say they're top notch. And having that to be able to have a joint EMS is both economically and safety wise the best option for our community.
Yes, I'm glad too, and I hope that there'll be communication along the way so this don't ever come up again, so that both parties are satisfied that they're both getting, communication's key, and it doesn't sound like that happened in the past, so I would hope that we can have a good relationship to where city could come to us and back and forth, that we could resolve issues before they get too bad, because I too believe that EMS is a critical part of our community. We need to have it. I've read that Topeka's having issues with their contracted services, and that always horrified me, because I was always hoping that we'd never get to that, because I think everybody appreciates having EMS, the people that are committed to our communities and taking care of our residents. And I think that that's just, it's very important to our community and counties that we have a good EMS. And I do think they're top notch, and I'm happy that we've come to an agreement.
Well, I can't add anything to that, except that, I apologize to the public that it's taken this long, to get where we're at. Because I know there was a lot of worries, fears, and angst, and so, I appreciate this. You and I talked the other day, we still want to have a 5-minute executive session.
Why do we need an executive session?
Well, to discuss,
The mediators have met. And
no, I'm talking about
I don't understand why we need an executive session.
item 20.
What?
Item 20.
Item 20.
What do
We
you-
have an agreement with the mediators, do we not? Do we not
Yeah,
have an
yeah,
agreement with
we
the
do.
mediators that was approved by the city and the
With
county?
city of Junction.
If there's something that you want to bring up, I think it needs to be out in public.
Well, I talked to Peter, and
Let me try to be of assistance. I did have a communication with Commissioner Asher. I think it was the evening we actually got to the point where we believed we had an agreement. And this will serve as a segue to Commissioner Tremont's statements, hoping that there'd be communication in the future, more communication. Of course, there's always communication, but the question is more in the quality of the communication.
Right.
There is a provision in the agreement that was negotiated, talking about the capital improvement plan, the CIP plan. And in that CIP plan, it talks about how there's going to be give and take between the city and the county and how we're going to schedule these things on our respective CIPs. And we're going to start that up, and we're going to carry it on by collaborative planning and the like. And if the parties should identify capital that they need or want, both parties want to acquire, and there's insufficient funds under the 72.5 contribution limit, the parties are always free to discuss, what it's going to take to get that particular piece of equipment. But there's a provision in the agreement already that would allow for that type of discussion to take place, and it's right in the record. I don't think you need an executive session to talk about that. We're just talking about communication in the future.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be out. I mean, I hope that this communication can be out in public and we can all, so they can see both sides. And there's no reason for us to.
My concern was that, the CIP to me seemed after our chief, shared with us the cost of equipment, I just think that 72.5 might be increased.
So we paid to have mediators. We paid to have mediators. Both sides agreed to this. I don't understand why you would want to change anything. Please explain to me, because I don't understand. I mean, this has been going on for months and we've had both sides agree to this. So you're saying you want to increase it even though both sides agree?
Yeah. Well, I want that flexibility, and that's why I referred to number 20, and Peter explained that discussions can be had, so we can work around on that.
After I had that discussion with Commissioner Asher, it's my understanding that Commissioner Asher agrees that, we're going to go, there's no need to change the agreement right now.
Right now.
Right. We have a CIP process, and if the CIP process leads us to the determination that we need to ante up, we can do that. But right now, this is the agreement.
Right. No, I don't, that's said perfectly. So I would entertain a motion to approve this and sign it today.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor of the EMS agreement 25, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Do you have a master copy for us?
Yours is going to be it. I'll take that over to the city and get their approval.
This packet you dropped off.
There's also bills from the mediators for their services. There's W-9 from Hornbaker. There's a bill from Powers, and we're responsible for half.
Okay. So who do I turn this into?
But if I could walk with one signed copy at least.
Do you want to sign? Who do you want to sign? Do you want to sign your copy that you have?
Yeah. There's.
That feels good.
Oh, hi.
Chris would
There, I don't have to walk that
copy of
far.
this so I can give it to Peter.
Okay, thank you all. It's been a pleasure.
She's gonna make a copy of it for you, Peter.
I get one copy of that.
Chairman Asher, on behalf of the city, I just wanted to appear. We'll be taking that to our commission next Tuesday night,
Okay.
and I know staff will be recommending the same result happen there that happened here. And I'm pretty sure I can speak on behalf of the city, but I'm not authorized to. If you ever want to contribute more money, we're not going to say no.
We know that.
But I know the CIP is a new thing, because a part of that that's built in is we as a city would bring things and say, hey, these are things that we want. Are you okay with that? First, to put it in the plan, and then second, to spend it from the plan. And that CIP money is going to be separate from the other contributions from the flat fee. So that way we can track it, and then we obligated ourselves to communicate and give you all the additional information, even with the flat fee, just so you know what you're paying for. Or what the citizens are getting out of it, regardless of who pays for it, because I'm a city and a county resident.
No, I appreciate that.
And so we obligated ourselves to communication, the county's obligated themselves to that, so the worst thing that could happen is not having an agreement and both entities having to stand up their own EMS, and I didn't want to pay the 8.5 to 10 mils per entity for that, so thank you.
No, thank you.
We agree. Plus, I think the service is better doing it this way as well.
Oh, yeah.
As much of a hard time as I give them when you look at stuff, they actually know what they're doing and respond very well. Last Wednesday, while we're doing Port County HIPAA, they had 4 med units out. So, yeah.
Thanks, Britt. Okay, next, discussion on the Defense Community Conference and the USA. So my question is, do we know the dates yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Speak up. Please.
Do we know the dates for these conferences?
Pardon me?
The dates for the conferences?
The 27th of October through the 29th.
Is for AUSA.
No, I don't know the AUSA, I'm sorry.
Oh, the other one.
I can find out. The other, that was for the ADC conference, the Defense Community Conference. And then
Where is it?
it's in Monterey, California. And I thought you would know Keith being on the Mac.
Well,
I thought
Yeah.
you would know being on the Mac, or I would have had this already.
no, because I sent Rob a text and I haven't heard back from him.
It's in October. Usually it's the first
Yeah.
week in October. I know for sure it's in October. I just don't have the date.
Right. I thought it was kind of like the second.
Maybe
um,
it's earlier than
Yeah.
the ADC conference, but like I said before about the Defense Community Conference, I think that it is beneficial for the community to for us to go. But truly, I think that it should be all 3 entities going if the city, county, and school district have at least 1 or 2 people. Because like I said, there's so many breakout sessions, I couldn't go to every single one of them that would benefit the community.
It's October 13th.
Good, thank you. I was looking on my phone, I didn't, thank you.
For Mayor
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's Chauncey.
So,
I'd like to go to the Defense Community one because I
I
haven't,
can't hear Keith.
huh?
I couldn't hear you because they were talking.
Oh, I would like to go to the Defense Community one because I've been to AUSA numerous times.
I understand that, well, it's not a vacation, Keith, it's
No.
to advocate for the base is what the AUSA was.
Right,
But,
right.
but no, I mean, and I wouldn't care if either one of you wanted to go. I mean, I would support if you wanted to go to both of them, but I definitely feel that we need to at least have 1 person at AUSA and at least 2 people for ADC. So,
And when's the early sign up forward?
It's going on now. They just opened it up. I don't know how long, to be able to, we'd have to go under the Flint Hills Regional Council because they're members, and it'd be $4.95. If we don't go under them, then it would be double that.
It's how much?
$495. And then it would be double that
So,
if we don't go under their umbrella.
and usually, just for your knowledge, the Chamber and MAC, they have a deal also with AUSA. So it used to be we would go separately. But now I think it's all, so he's trying to get everybody,
And have
On
it
the
as a
same-
group.
or, yeah,
And people from the school district also go to that too.
Yep.
AUSA,
Yeah.
AUSA. In fact, it was really beneficial for the school district to go this last time because they were able to secure some funding for their special education. So,
yeah, I don't, no problem. They tend to vote.
And when was the registration deadline for AUSA?
I haven't got, usually I get stuff.
yeah,
I'll reach out to Rob.
it's not for a little bit.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have
It's
time.
not as,
We have time.
because there, I don't think there's an early bird sign up for AUSA.
I'd probably be more interested in doing that for the,
The AUSA.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely say you don't have to walk everywhere. Sign up early when you can to get in the hotel that
Right.
it's in,
The
because,
hotel's key.
yeah, because that fills up really fast. So,
And aren't they still staying at the hotel right across from the
the
convention center?
convention center.
I'll try to get some information on that, you or somebody, and go from there. With it.
All right,
So you want me to tell, Jana to sign you up too?
so then how do we work our airfares?
I mean,
I mean, did you guys go as a group last year?
no.
Oh.
No, in fact, I went down a couple days early because we had family down there, but, we'll probably go a little bit early too.
Will you make your own arrangements?
Yeah, I'll make my own reservations and for the hotel and
And
the
just use
airfare.
a county card?
Yeah, she doesn't do that, yeah. She'll just sign us up as the
Register.
registration, yeah. So,
And I don't have that, so I just would,
You don't have a purchase one?
no, and I don't necessarily need one if,
Yeah, you can use either the clerk's or finance.
Yeah, we have a commission one.
Questions?
so you people plan on going to the Defense Communities Conference.
So how many breakouts you got?
Oh, a dozen. I mean, it just depends. Sometimes they have joint thing and one thing, and then they have like childcare, they had housing, the ICSAs, the DSIP, they had a thing on the DSIP grant, just all different kinds. And they have panels that you can listen to. They talk about AI. Just all, I mean, it was really, it's very beneficial. And then just meeting other, community members from different, defense communities and talking to them about different things they do with to support the military base, and the civilians, like when the families are gone and those kind of things. That's really what I hope they cover those kind of things. They haven't put out the agenda yet, but once they do, I'll give that to you. But that's what they had last time, those kind of things. Yeah. I called you back.
know,
Oh. I didn't know, maybe it was butt dial, so.
with my phone, who knows?
I kept something to say, let's say stuff. Kind of gives you an idea of what's not.
Actually, probably the biggest thing for us to be going to that is, having an ask of what sellers can do for us, and they actually set up a meeting with the staff while we're there. So the group, they go as a group, like all the city and county.
Yeah.
Those group can meet with them and then they take down, they'll usually have meetings before and talk about it. But that's probably the biggest thing is to have an organized ask.
Yeah.
And what they can do to support us.
And you meet with the lobbyists.
I knew a little bit about that.
We pay the dues. You spend
But I'll check.
it. Can you check it?
Supposed to do it next week.
Which is usually they give you a card.
Oh, yeah.
It's parcel good. Yeah, they have.
Well, I didn't know. Jeff come?
He's here.
Oh.
He's in the back. Looking scruffy.
So, yeah, just so everybody gets it.
Oh, yeah, that's passed them down.
Oh, Louisa? Yeah, put me down for Thursday for PBC. You bring some materials with you? Yeah, you said you were gonna throw something together.
You can show these guys if we what you want to do or whatever. I do, I have it whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me? Because I usually.
I hear you pretty good. I really understand.
They're very soft.
And I know you can write English, but also in your agenda. There's more.
It's on, where they have the, on 77 where you can turn on Fort Riley out up that way.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah,
Is it past where you turn towards the bank?
nope, it's before that,
Okay.
on 77. And then you just, there's a light there. It's before that. It's before the water tower. It's before that. It's right at that, the light before.
Take Hillside Drive.
Okay, thank you. I tried to find it. I thought it would be right, the junction right there. but I couldn't find it on the-
Yeah, and, well, it used to be like in the area where, it was called, well, it's still called, isn't it still called Country Meadows?
Yes.
Yeah, you know where that, Country Meadows is. There used to be an entrance there. It's all in that area right there.
Okay.
Used to have two green
Yeah, like
things on each side of
entranceway.
the driveway. Country Meadows did.
And you're wonderful.
Oh, yeah, somebody did put who made the little wooden sign now
That
that,
had to be Sheffield, who lives there. on-
Yeah,
lives
yeah.
there,
yeah, we saw it when we came out there.
Distinguish you and
Okay.
Kathy.
Sure.
But I may be the only one and I don't come there.
You know what?
No, it's been told my worries.
Thank you.
That'd probably be the week.
North Ridge is north on 77.
I thought we asked about that, and I don't know if microphones can be hooked up to
Oh.
that thing.
Because wireless maybe.
Yeah.
There's a, when I sign on, it asks what microphone.
What?
And so, so it's, instead of using my microphone, it uses the microphone.
Yeah.
now.
City used to do now.
No, they have a whole system that plays, because they're attached to channel 3
But
still.
theirs doesn't get good.
No, it's hard to hear sometimes on theirs too. So I mean, I just think there's challenges with every system. You just need to talk up.
Yeah.
Holler.
Be loud.
Caller.
Be loud like Trent did. I can always hear
All
her.
right, where's Betsy?
Oh, she's. They want you.
Oh, good. It's a nice bed. Oh, warm.
Yeah.
Because the petition has been filed. Well, they didn't file it for this.
Well, they it's like a desert.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we're just talking about the.
Yeah.
See Cortez.
You like your son?
Okay, the next item on the agenda is discussion of future expansion or extension of Northridge Drive. So Betsy, would you like to explain kind of the,
Sure. Northridge Drive was originally laid out just a very small section. I believe back when that neighborhood was platted, there was a road petition and another part of it has been laid out. And I think that there's some discussion and the commission wanted to explore what the future of that road might look like. The placement of the future road. There's not currently a petition on file to lay out anything further. If the commission did want to determine and lay out that road, there's a procedure in 68-102 where without a petition, the county can lay out a road that they deem necessary. And that, we haven't really discussed that. I don't know if you guys are interested in that or not, but I think the discussion now is preserving, people's property rights and how that's gonna work within if that area is ever developed in the future, while also serving the public interest and the good of the county. And I think Mr. Osborne has some pictures to show us.
introduce yourself, Leon?
Leon Osborne, Caldwell Engineering, 2319 North Jackson, Junction City.
Nice to meet you.
I got enough to go around.
You're not working this morning. Thank you.
I'll just start off then. basically what you got in front of you is kind of a colored drawing. The blue represents what was originally platted back in the 70s, is Rockwood Farmettes. The little blue east-west section was never developed back then, but it was the only access to this piece of property other than from the other side through Rockwood Estates or whatever. The yellow road, well, the yellow lots colored up are the ones that are owned by the Beckers. Since I got an extra copy.
Thank you.
And as I understand the conversation, they're interested in acquiring that pink area, which would be 60 feet behind their lots to give them a little more depth. And what I've done is highlight in yellow with the red striping of how that right of way would have to switch. There are some minimum curve radiuses we'll have to deal with on rewriting that legal description. And on the second page is an aerial photo. There was some talk about another access to this property. The redded lines is the Becker's property. The little red up to the upper left-hand corner, which is Goldfinch Drive, could be extended, but you'd have to acquire right away from, I think it was Smith owns that property. And that very fairly expensive because there's a major ravine in there. And why KDOT didn't push it all the way through, I have no idea. I'm not involved with it.
That reason.
Other than that, that's the fact. I told Keith I'd put something together as I understand it.
So when you have the pink that they're wanting to acquire, then you also have, that's the one underneath that, that's where you're saying the easement would need to be moved if we were to move that easement.
That is correct.
And that would be on Mr. Rather's property.
Yes.
But to be clear, the Beckers would like to buy 60 feet from the back of their property.
As I understand it.
And that's
Yes.
the pink.
That's
That's
the pink,
the pink.
yes. And it's close. I don't know where that road stops. We
Yeah,
can go out and do
yeah.
any survey. This is me sitting in the office putting this together.
I just want, yeah.
Mhm.
So I went out to the Becker's house this weekend, and while I was out on the area where Mr. Rather owns, I didn't go to the backyard of the Beckers to see last time. So I went out there this weekend, and it is extreme. Where that road would be is very, very close to their house. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, probably, yeah, from here to the building, the edge of the building. And it is extremely, I wouldn't want to right there. So what I would like to do is come up with a solution that makes everybody happy, if possible. I know that's not always possible in our positions to make everybody happy, but to secure, give them a peace of mind. And I don't know what that solution could be. I don't know. So, I mean, having maybe give a recommendation or what you think could be to where we could do that. I don't want to put you in the spot, but I just feel like we need to look at something else if possible.
I mean, that'd be negotiations between
Yeah,
those folks. Again, I was asked by Commissioner
Sure.
Asher, throw something together so we know what's going
no,
on.
I appreciate you doing that.
And
I appreciate you doing that.
my opinion, in theory, the street should be moved over far enough that you create lots on the north side. Because where it's at right now, you have double frontage lots which are illegal and parcels of ground that can be developed. There's
Okay.
instances where you
So
can't
it should be to where we could,
actually have a lot on the other side
yeah, oh, well, that makes
to
sense.
back into their lots.
Yeah.
I mean, but county roads are open all the time in different ways.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that, but, so this track 2 right here is what Mr. Rather owns.
Mr.
that
Rather owns
whole
it,
own-
yes.
okay.
So if you extended, where would you, to get 2 entrances and exits for emergency purposes?
On Mr. Bontrager's property, it would
Yeah.
have to come through from the other side. Help me with the street names on that. George is over there and he's got, but again, it's also rough property to cross, but it can be done.
Because I know there was some concern about fire protection or ambulance service, and so I didn't know whether we were strictly discussing just this, or are we looking at future to take it clear?
That'd be up to Mr. Bontrager. I don't know if he has any plans, Alan, to do any further development right now. No.
Okay,
I think he needs to be able to maintain some access to get land walking from this side.
right,
So he has to have access through there.
right.
That was the original intent in the blue back in the 70s when the farmhouse was originally planted.
So, and I've thought about this a little bit over the weekend. So basically the Beckers just want, I don't think we should sell land that was given to us by someone for development. So, but the Beckers also want to be ensured that they're not gonna have a road right there. Would a possibility be just give it back to, Mr. Bontrager, and then if and when there's ever any development out there, then they do it properly and have it replatted and an agreement put in place to where we have a road that's not gravel. I mean, is that a possibility?
I mean,
But that would involve Mr. Rather, if he sold the property and gets some unhappy landowner that doesn't want to cooperate, the road's gonna stay where it's at.
As far, I guess,
Say Mr. Rather decided to sell his property, some guy says, I'm done, I don't want anybody out here, you got a county road right away. I'm just being the devil's advocate.
sure,
That,
but in the,
then the road right away's gotta stay where it's at.
in eminent domain, could be
Oh, yeah.
enacted on that.
Yeah, those are
I
not,
mean-
those are not.
I mean, that's an option. I'm just saying that's an
Yeah,
option.
right.
You know, I mean, if it's something that we need to do, and I think, I mean, I'm not, I mean, I don't wanna speak for you, Jeff, but I think you're building your forever home, but.
I would think that, Leon alluded to it, I don't know why KDOT didn't extend Gold Country Drive further to the south to encompass both of those streets that one goes through. But I would think that, I know it would be expensive because of that big ravine, but I think that would be the most logical place to actually probably enter.
Well,
If Mr. Bontrager or his heirs or whoever ever decides to plat and subdivide that.
well, the answer, I mean, the answer's always no unless you ask. Is there any way we can say, hey, KDOT, you didn't finish this road to connect these neighborhoods? And, you know, I mean, hey, it doesn't hurt to ask them. I mean,
No, it doesn't.
what do you, I mean, I think maybe a letter from Betsy saying, hey, this isn't, you're causing an issue here because we need to connect these neighborhoods that are in the same development area. Why, you know, you need to come out
I
and
think
finish
you
this
were right,
road.
they didn't want to put up the extra money.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it is, but, you know, sorry,
But it's KDOT.
I know.
Probably the simplest is to work out a land swap with Mr. Rather and the county and get your right of way back. It extends to Allen's property, it's done. That's probably the simplest.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, yeah. The Beckers need to purchase.
Well, I don't think we should, I don't feel that, you know, it was given to the county for a specific reason. I don't think that we turn around and sell it.
That's what
You know, I just feel like that's not a possibility.
I think the one thing you have in your favor right now is probably time. This is not super time sensitive. It does need to be resolved, but I would suggest, either Betsy or myself or both of us, try to get a hold of KDOT and see if we could get something maybe about extending Gold Finish now.
All right.
And then we could address this, whether we want to cut it off where it's at and give it back to Mr. Bontrager or however you want to do that. But I think the KDOT approach would be the first step.
So Jeff, you wouldn't have a problem shifting that according to Leon's drawing here.
Oh, I don't know. My only question on giving it back to Alan, where does my driveway start and end? What does the county maintain? I mean, we kind of, I mean, obviously nobody wants more development, neighbors out there for that, but the county doesn't clear all them trees and we ask them to stop, just because when I move my driveway east, try to accommodate and leave some of them trees there.
Any thoughts, Corey? I'm sorry.
Doesn't look like it.
No, I mean, I think what's been added on and where it is, you know, where it ends as of now is what we're going to maintain.
Right.
To where Jeff's driveway is. There's no intent to go any further than that at this point.
So something I thought of, it was brought up after the road dealers were in here, with their recommendation moving forward, that any extension of this has to be blacktop, and is that correct?
Well, it should have been blacktop to begin with.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be because it's not a platted subdivision.
Oh, that's right.
It's just a single
Oh.
piece of property. Now, if moving forward, it would have to be platted into a subdivision.
So what
All
makes,
those interior roads have to be paved.
okay,
To KDOT standards.
What's the county standards, which has been KDOT standards, yeah.
Right.
Yep. I think that's going to continue probably. Yeah, so what's out there now as gravel, whether, if KDOT chooses not to extend the old fence and we have to use that, then that would give access to a paved network of interior roads for a subdivision.
well,
All the hillside. All of the hillside.
No,
We're just gonna pave it in the
That's correct.
subdivision. But they require developers prior to and other subdivisions to do the gravel road all the way to the subdivision.
well, all I know is there's been some proposals for developments further out into the county, and they're certainly not gonna pave roads from the city limits all the way out there. That's not gonna happen.
yeah, I thought it was just the roads that the
That's the way
houses
the
were gonna be
regulations
built
read.
on.
What's in the footprint of the subdivision.
Yeah, that's what I was under the impression unless well, does anybody else have anything, else to say in reference to this on that? Anybody have anything else I'd like to hear?
I do a little bit, just
Yeah.
a few things. Alan Bontrager, 7122 Old Milford Road. Well, first of all, I would have never deeded this to the county. I was following the rules of the past public works guy, and I never would have deeded that to the county if I would have known somebody wanted to buy it. And yes, I've been involved in new development for a long time, and it is unfortunate sometimes when property gets developed, but, I've had that happen where somebody says, hey, you're gonna take all my deer away in my backyard and whatever. Well, they don't own the property. And the Beckers have known this for a while, that this was possibly a roadway.
We knew it when the bulldozer started knocking trees down.
And because they talked to me and they said that they knew that there was an easement back there. Now, back in the 70s, when Bruce Collins did this, Bruce was an engineer. He had always said that, hey, Alan, you want to make sure you protect that line right along there where the poles go and electrical goes and all that, because that's going to be your way to get in. That's less money than on the west side. But, it's unfortunate that, it's 50 feet from the road, but that's just, they could have, if it was that big of an issue, they could have tried to get a hold of me earlier and tried to buy it. Not that I would have sold her or not, but,
We did.
and after this all happened, they did, but,
We talked to you when we bought the property and said, Alan, we're real close to that back line. We'd love to buy a little piece of land back there.
We were all in the golf.
You said, oh, I'm not gonna do anything with it.
yeah, I'm not gonna do anything with it, and that's exactly right. But
Yeah.
I don't know why this has become such a conflict of, the road I gave it to the county to use, as future growth. That's what we've made all of our decisions based on. And Jeff and I, we went out of our way, because we met the Beckers out there, said, no, we went out of our way to stop the road. We literally stopped the road so it wasn't behind our house. And there's all trees and everything behind their house. And then number two is Jeff moved his road to try to also give them some privacy there. I mean, we went out of our way to try to please the Beckers, and it just seems like anything
I
I
don't
do.
think they're upset with the way things are right now. I mean, they're just worried about the extension of the road. Not there, I don't think they have a problem with where Jeff's house is
No, not at
or
all.
anything behind that. It's where the additional road is gonna be right up next to their backyard,
Yeah, okay.
well, side yard. It's,
Yeah, what's there,
their
it's
house
fine.
is a little cockeyed in there.
Well, if I just don't see why in the world the county would sell this to the Beckers that I dated to the county. That just
No,
doesn't make.
I don't think anybody's entertaining that. I think
Okay, so what's the whole purpose of today's meeting then?
they offered to buy it and we're having a meeting on it because we can't just make a decision without having a discussion, which is why we're having everybody here.
Right,
So,
and keep. Yeah,
we want to look at all our options.
yeah, we gotta look at all our options.
Yep, right.
And Alan, to be honest with you, I didn't have all the information when I said it was okay for, the swap of us getting the property and then putting in the culvert. I mean, I didn't have all the information. I didn't know how close that was to the Becker's property as well as the person next door to the Beckers. And so we didn't have all that information.
Well, the fact remains is, and nobody likes to hear this sometimes, but they don't own the property. They want to buy the property, and I deeded it to the county. And so it's a mixed bag of tricks here, but I would think that the county would not want to sell that to anybody. The county,
I think we're all in agreement that that's not gonna happen, but we're gonna try to figure something out on what can happen.
well, we are here because they say they want to buy that pink area here. So, but anyway, thank you.
I would like to call.
Sure.
Teresa Becker. First of all, Jeff, we have no issue with you being our neighbor. And Alan, we used to be on the same page, but this meeting wouldn't be happening today had the county followed all the processes on putting a road in. And that's where I have the problem at. We were never involved in any of this. It looks like on June 26th, Alan proposed or provided you guys that deed of dedication, okay? We didn't know anything about any of that until September of 24. We happened to hear all the trees being eliminated behind our house or in the area. So we finally took a drive over there, happened to run into Alan. Alan's like, well, yeah, they're just doing this. There's no big deal. So we leave. We're in Branson because we told Alan, you can't be doing this. And you guys chose to stop it or help with the county. At that time, we come back and filed a petition on September 25th to vacate that road behind us, okay? We didn't know anything about this until September, okay? Alan called Jeff, talked to him. We were in Branson, and Jeff says, do I need to get the commission involved in this? Alan's like, no, it's all taken care of. So moving forward, we still have this, we're not a disgruntled neighbor. We're not a disgruntled property owner. We would just like our own privacy. And yes, Alan, we did ask you about purchasing some land years ago when we were on the golf committee.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I understand, but I'm just
I'm
saying.
sorry,
yes,
I don't
we-
remember that.
Okay, so I'm sorry for the conflict that this is
Yeah.
causing you, but however, like Trish was out there to our property, Troy's been out there, Betsy's been out there. Literally, this road is right behind us. We could throw rocks at it. And I don't understand why the county needs to put a road right there when normally that's not how it should have been done. So,
The whole process,
was incorrect.
right,
So why are we
Through the
trying to
back
put a
door.
Band-Aid on it? So that's where I have the problem at. So, thank you.
Well, I would like to, look at other options, because I don't feel, I agree with Alan to the fact that, you know, he gave that property in reference to putting in a road. I don't think we have the right to sell it because of that. But I do wanna look at other options to, ensure that both Jeff and the Beckers, have privacy in their area if that becomes an actual area of development. So,
Oh, I have one more thing. So you could also look at Goldfish could come through, and George could come through, Jeff would have his privacy, we would have our privacy, and
well,
they
that's what,
would have everything.
KDOT, that's why they're gonna reach out to KDOT, because that is, I mean, really, once this is brought to our attention, that Goldfish should have been finished by KDOT, because that's the whole development area, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could run
So-
right
Should have
there.
never.
So, yeah, I feel we need to reach out to the state on that and have them address that, because, and then that would alleviate some things.
That would be, you could come in from McGeorge, come in from Goldfish, there's your emergency access, Jeff would have his own private road, and
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
regardless of whether that, I feel that, you know, now this is brought to our attention, KDOT should have finished that to connect those connected, because that's the reason why they came that way anyway, was to be able to get to the, off of 57 instead of 77.
Right.
So,
Well, the head of the local KDOT office is gonna be in a meeting tomorrow night with me, so I will start there.
okay. Thank you. Well, Chair, I think that, I don't know if we need to make a motion at this time, to deny the offer that the Beckers have made. And then move forward on to, looking into KDOT. And start that. If so, that's my motion.
I agree with that. I'll second it.
Okay. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Your motion is to deny their offer.
To purchase the land that was given to us by, Mr. Von Trader. And then look
And
into
then-
KDOT finishing the road that they started. Those are that route.
They're still open, this is still all open though.
It is,
Okay.
it is.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Recorded my deeds, I did my flat drive.
Oh, have you done that yet?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
Leon,
soon
for putting
enough.
that together.
Okay, we'll get you fixed up.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff and Teresa.
Finally, just went through that.
We'll have that to it. You started on the backside, you have it.
All right, now let's-
They dropped that off, you know? Anyway, I told him red is like supposed to taste good. Now tell me about the salad.
And I have. There was a big call.
You're talking about the, one. And you just put a little bit of honey.
There
was several different recipes.
I think it was. I
I
think.
did redo that, I just didn't see it. Rewrote that all. He had.
The wrong one. He charged it.
Oh.
We moved too fast.
So that's why you.
So-
Well, I don't.
Oh, it should have been considered.
He's got.
Well, nobody got notified.
Objectives are supposed to be,
And
and he's gonna trade me.
that's been.
It might cost me.
Yeah, there you go.
Otherwise I'd have to go talk.
No kidding.
And but he's gotta get the tips for all of them.
He's.
And they've got one north.
And so-
Yeah.
Where he's,
What it's gonna be.
until he proceeded.
Yeah, Katie's gonna be.
He said it'd be about between 9.5
Bring
and
that up.
11. Well, I knew that, but.
No, it just wasn't that.
He was getting some bent, that's everything.
Yeah.
So, all right.
But I.
No, it, looking back, it was.
But they put, he told me they
Who
did.
knows your dad, where he got it.
No, I agree. Sometimes I think we act too
I
fast
do
on
too. I
that.
think we should always wait and say we're gonna, you know, really next week, I at least give you.
Oh, yeah. He bought that after I left home. Well, I told him something I worked, put the wrong ones in.
Oh, really?
He said they should have never.
Okay.
He told me they made 3 different tips.
I'll ask her.
Well, I don't think there's any.
That's just whenever you have room in your house.
Yeah, yeah,
I knew it when I looked at the.
and obviously they're not gonna use it.
If I would order, but I didn't know which one to order.
So how does he know which ones? Because there's so many
He's a
different.
decent guy.
Yeah, but you know, for one of the guys.
I just got a copy of,
Last May.
Forty Deep was like their state.
Is that increases or not?
No, it's just,
Yeah.
because they take it off the tax roll.
So how many?
Yeah, they
Which
did.
is like that figure, you know, if it's a no, how many different?
Close to 2 different models. One is 361 and then there's another. I suppose they're different.
That property off of CMRLs and such.
He said
Oh.
they do. They work, but they should have.
Oh, no. Yeah, they went ahead and got that done. Let's go care of that for you.
That's all I, that's all I.
That's,
'Cause I don't.
that's funny.
That's what he showed. We're just a little round, a little bigger than pencil like I put in my pickup. There's a.
Another issue.
I don't know how many that's just.
All right. Right? Sorry, what? Right, right. It's right there.
That's what I was thinking.
It was close. It was close.
Might even give you that hamburger.
Yeah, it's nice. No, they gave, that's not too, it's fabulous. Yeah, it's really nice. And the way Leon had that drawn to dip down, actually, I'd like to see that curve and just go straight south along the west edge of his property. Right there, yeah. The top end, and then get access to the road network. But if we get gold fence, we get it. That'd be sufficient. Talk to Katie about that tomorrow night. Right.
I'm here to check on another date. Bridge.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah. That's the down going.
All right, that's my story. I'm staying.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we'll squeeze,
tomorrow when you.
I'll squeeze it out of her. You gonna leave?
I talked to Keith. I live out home.
I can't believe Frank's not here.
I can't either. He's usually here like an hour early.
Well, it's not till 11:45, but still, usually he's here a lot early, yeah.
Because, are you talking about? West.
Are you gonna stay on that too?
East, yeah, there, but yeah, you know, when you get to Red Road and you top that, well, if you're out there. Yeah.
I don't have that.
And you know, not just turns to the east. Right. You gotta go like down, you get out on the road. I thought maybe if they take that 55. Side of the Red Road, maybe slow it down.
Our neighbor.
I don't know. Keith.
Those were all kind of family.
Get it on the record, then they'll say
And he
something.
was calling to see what he was doing.
I don't know if you want to go any further west. Yeah,
I'd already.
right. Go look at it or whatever. Yeah, that's because that's their road.
Yeah, she sent us an email.
And some of them, you know, they don't quite take the speed limit.
Well,
But boy, she was smart. That ain't the first time, but that was close. Right. Yeah, no, I'll drive out there and give it a look. And if we have to, we can do a
This ain't-
study on it.
this is just
It's a free service.
a house that stuff.
Tell the sheriff, and I see it out there, but I don't have a problem there.
I'm not sure about the windows.
And boy, you know, I learned that moving down there and stop.
Stuff full of trashy
And
windows.
if you don't see them, then I try to go while I get halfway out there, and they pop over. They're coming pretty fast. Yeah.
So,
The site
and
is-
the grandson.
No, well, it's bad both ways, you can turn south on Red Road, because you can't, it's done enough of a hump, so. We have the same deal up there, Sailor Road.
It's a small little house.
Same way, yeah.
Teresa had already told them and told us.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I didn't even think to tell her.
I just want to make sure they knew, because that was supposed to be kind of a big thing in real life.
Well, they were gonna do like a presentation.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So yeah, we need to ask Keith if he needs, because I think I told Tina what we have on.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's why I started laughing.
I haven't seen that in the agenda.
They probably should be sending it out here pretty soon.
When is it? The 19th?
Monday, next
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
Well, it's sort of the room, isn't
Yeah.
it? So does your dressing taste more like honey or more like Italian?
See, that honey comes from down to Alma.
No, I'm talking
But, yeah, but you gotta have,
not the.
that's where you have the bees, it's gotta come off of buckwheat. That's where you
That's
get,
it, buckwheat.
that's where you get the dark brown color.
Oh, it has more flavor.
Yeah, I do think it's got more enzymes in it, he said too, it's really supposed to be better for that.
I'm not gonna tell people, they laugh at it, but it means a lot to me. If I find, I'm such a picky eater. If I find something that I like, it's actually good for me.
Well, you don't get it, the bad part of it is, that you don't get it very often, because he's gotta find somebody that wants it. And this guy down there, I think plants it every year.
Is, besides honey, what is buckwheat? Is it?
Pancakes is that
I don't think so, I don't.
We're talking buckwheat.
It's
I've heard
about that tile, about that tall as a yellow flower. I don't know what they use it.
Maybe flour, buckwheat pancakes.
Yeah, that's what it is, a flower, yeah.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Hi, Frank.
You can come on up and sit down here if you want. Keith will be back in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll be ready for you.
And then we'll be ready for you, yeah.
Already?
In a minute, yeah.
My appointment is the.
No, I know, but we're running.
We're running early
running
for once.
today.
All right.
How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah.
Had
had pneumonia.
Oh, no.
Believe it or not, I had pneumonia shot. And I already had it twice already this
Oh, my
year.
goodness.
I'm getting over it now.
Good. That's scary. That is scary.
We know how to find a reason to go to Manhattan and then Walmart, so.
Are you? Not pneumonia shot, but I did get the shingles shot. Yeah, I did it to my mom had shingles and she was like, I'll tell you right now, go get it. And for her to say that, she's pretty tough.
Was on the road. Yeah.
I'm always finding stuff to
Called
haul.
me, said, oh, I've got this terrible pain, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, when you get home and go. And she went, yeah.
I heard they were really bad, but they're very sensitive on things.
Yeah. The doctor said, anytime you had that, he said, well, Marge had one of those down.
That's what my mom knows.
Margie was never gone.
There he is.
Oh.
We told Frank when you got back, we'd be ready for us.
Well, since you're here, Frank.
Ready?
Yep.
All right.
We're ready.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm here to keep you up to date on what's going on with the area agency and aging. We had a meeting on the 29th of last month, and we decided to, at that meeting, we decided to push the issues that was going to be important to the seniors. So we went through that, and we had also the speaker for the area agency and aging was also from Salina, was there to give us an up-to-date on what went on last legislative session. And there was something that I didn't like, that Medicare expansion, if it didn't get passed next session, it's gonna be dead, they said. So that's what he thinks, you know? And we've been trying, and the governor is trying to push that. And that's the thing, that's another issues that we're gonna try to push, okay? Medicare expansion. And, and also with the budget cut, what I hear is, you know, in Medicare expansion, the state pays 40% and the government, the United States government pays 60%. That 60% is gonna be now cut, is what I understand. So there's some issues there, you know. Okay, so that's one of the things that we're gonna be pushing. Transportation for seniors is another one, another issues. And Medicare cannabis or marijuana, that's another thing that we're gonna try to push. And I thought that was already pushed at one time, but no bills was pushed on that. So that's another thing that we're gonna try to pass. Also, the CAPER 3 is gonna be try to combine with the 2. That's another thing that we're gonna try to pass. And no bill was passed on that, but also the CAPER COLA, because I get COLA, I get CAPERs, and no increase at all ever since I've been getting that when I started that. So we're gonna try to push that. And also Medicare Act, we're gonna try to either increase it or keep it at the same level. Because this is helping the seniors. It's the Medicare Act. And Julie is trying to really push that. She's the director of the Area Agency in Aging. She's really trying to push that because she's very, very sensitive to the money that we're getting from the government. Also, the voting right for seniors, we're gonna try to keep that to where don't push, don't push the seniors away because they vote, so don't inhibit the seniors from voting. And so we're gonna try to push that. Okay, next thing you know is we're gonna be support the senior health insurance. That's another thing that we're trying to push. So those things, those are the issues that we're gonna try to push. These things are now gonna go to the executive level. We're gonna have another meeting there. And then when it goes to the senior executive level, and then it goes to the whole senior board when we meet in October the 7th to the 9th in Topeka. And so that's the whole thing. And then we also voted for the chair and the vice chair. And again, I'm the vice chair again for this year. So,
Good job.
okay, any
Well, you
questions
sound-
on that?
You're
That's
very
the,
passionate about it, and I appreciate you advocating for the
thank you.
seniors.
And we're trying to really push that. And I just got out of the senior center board meeting. And I told, I just gave this, the update on the senior, and again, we're gonna really try to push it. And if there's any question, let me know.
Well, how many is on your executive board?
Huh?
How many is on your executive board?
Executive board? Okay, it's gonna be the chair for the PSA 8. That's good, and I don't know how many chairs we have. I think we have about 12 or 15 in the executive board, and also the other executive, the vice president, the speakers and things like that. So those are the executive board, and I might be in there also, the vice chair this year. So I don't know. So that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, I appreciate your updates.
All right.
And keep
Next
up
thing
the
you
good
know.
work.
Yeah,
Huh?
Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you.
good seeing
We'll
you.
see you later.
Take care.
Okay. Don't catch pneumonia, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, try not to.
That wouldn't be fun, would it?
Do you have anything for public comment?
I'd like to talk to you on that speed limit signs like I did the other day.
Yeah, sure.
With
we
you and
can.
Trish. I talked to, I can't remember his first name.
Jeremy,
Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
introduce yourself.
I'm Randy Petra, live at 3224 Old Highway 40. Right out by Britt Road. Well, the 55 is quite a ways east of there. But when they come west and top the hill at Britt Road, I've had more than one, but the other day was really tight. If I come out of my driveway with a big trailer and they're 55 or 60, I mean, and then she's mad because once I get out there, I don't have no way to go but try to get out of the road. And I'd like to have that 55 and put a 40 and move it to Britt Road and put the 55 going westbound. The eastbound, I don't have no problems.
Did you talk to Jeremy though? I heard you talk.
He said if you told him, he'd go look at it. And he didn't seem to think he'd have a problem moving it, but
Hmm.
and then again, I don't know if it'll help or not, but
He'd be the one to look into that, but yeah, I think.
This is Randy's
doing it.
driveway, and it's
Uh-huh.
a steep hill.
Yeah, I see, yeah, I knew where it was. I
because
can
when
see-
they
I
pop it,
definitely
boy,
see
That's
where
his
there's an
mailbox
issue.
there. Steep hill.
like if you're with
They
just your
fly
vehicle, you're
down.
fine, but if I come out of there with my hay trailer
You know
or
where it is?
something,
Yeah,
The steep hill.
maybe it'll prevent a wreck.
Well, when we first moved here, we never thought much of it, but we first moved into the house and I was sitting on the porch and it sounded like a bomb went off. And there was a fatality on the top of that.
Mhm.
The two cars met head on and it was flight for life. So, and then since Randy's been having this with the trailers, it's, I see it with those long trailers, you can't get out of
Sure.
there. So,
He said he'd go look at it he wanted it on record before he did anything, so it's
I'll call him and tell him
it's
whatever.
basically whatever
Yeah, we'll
you
do
guys
that.
wanna do and we'll see what happens.
No,
That's all I got.
thank you.
I got a little bit more on that, if I can My name is Karen Augustine. I have, my property is just a little bit west of Taylor Road on the south side of the road, which is another hill where they come flying down that hill. They think they own the road. And coming from town, or, well, 77 on 40, I realize it's 35 miles an hour to the industrial, and then it gets to be 40 miles an hour. But up to my house, like I said, is just barely past Taylor Road on the south side. There's 29 houses from 77 to there. And I agree with Randy, at least that far, which is only about, I think, another mile past the 55-mile sign. We would like it to be at least 40 miles an hour through there. There's some, I've got pictures on my phone of some, I took the whole area this morning. There's some houses that are just almost like town. I took a picture of 3 or 4 houses that were just right next to each other. And I'm only asking for maybe a mile further down the road to move the sign. Just because then it starts branching out Munson's and you've got more space. And I understand it's a country road, but it's almost like residential right there. And
Yeah, I didn't realize there were that many houses there.
I mean, there's,
About solid clear to me.
yeah, it is. And most of them live on the north side of the road. There's on both sides,
Yeah.
but north side of the road.
No, I know what you're talking about. I would have never guessed there were 29 houses though. I guess
And
I
that's-
never counted
I
them.
counted up into including my house and, right across the road where Jim Nixon used to live. That's
Mhm.
2 houses, but there's 27 up to Taylor Road. And anyway.
But that
if
Taylor
come-
Road, that hill is really bad too, because if you're on
Oh,
the
it
top
is.
of it, right before it, it's like ours on Britt Road. It's just,
We've
you don't
lost,
see the traffic coming, you can't see it.
and they don't care, they just zoom down that road. When I was out there this morning, they were doing that.
Well, the sheriff, them guys are out there quite a bit. I see them quite a bit,
Yeah.
but you know
You
how
are gonna
that
catch
is.
'em.
It's just,
I mean, it would, all it would include, it, without more knowledge on my part, is just moving the 55-mile zone sign another mile down the road. And call it a day and make all us happy out there. Anyway, thank you for your consideration and hopefully that can get, what's the latest on Darren Dinger Road?
They're still working on the bond, getting the bond, I think.
Working on the what?
The bond. They have to get the bond.
The bonds to get the funding to,
No.
You have to, if you file a road petition, you have to file it with a bond.
yes.
If you file a road petition, you have to file it with a bond by statute, chapter
Okay,
68.
so they're doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
We
You
haven't
have
heard
a
anything else on it.
approximate time on anything?
It just depends when they want it.
I mean, they have to finish the petition and then we'll start.
And that's like months or do we have any idea?
Should be this summer.
Yeah, I would think it'd be in the next couple months. We're gonna have to publish
Awesome.
notice and.
Thank you, I just wanted a rough estimate.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. I think we're done.
Now you're buying lunch,
Yeah, I'll
where?
talk to Jen about that.
We're going home eat ribs.
Do we have anything,
I might
I'm
be going
gonna
here
talk
tonight.
about the defense
I will
community
tell you.
at the joint meeting. And then Kanza is doing a presentation under our time too, but do we have anything else that,
Well,
did we want to see if Geary wanted to come and talk about Overbridge?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
When is the next Flint Hills Regional Council meeting? I have not get posted on that.
We don't only do it every other month now.
Can I get that sent to me whenever that?
You'll have to ask to be put on ask Jana to put you on the.
Okay.
thing. It
I will
is
get in
on the,
contact with
it's on Friday, this Friday. I was thinking it was next Friday. No, it's the 16th. It's gonna be in Clay Center. Or Council Grove at the dealership. It's like, it's an event center, bar, restaurant.
You know where that's at? Where? Dealership.
It's called the dealership. It's on the main street.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's on that main street.
Yeah,
That's right,
it's on the main
almost by
street. It's a really
the
cool
there.
place. What?
What time is it?
It's at 9 to 11.
9 to 11.
It's right there almost the blinking light, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Next to the station now.
Yeah, it's right, I remember it because it's right near Dairy Queen.
Gas is $2.57 down there.
Wow.
How come it went up 30 cents here?
Who knows?
Yeah, they got a Dairy Queen.
I time it when I can to get it down there.
My cousin the other day said he went to Manhattan strictly to get Dairy Queen.
Kids up
If we go down to Council for a ball game. Down here.
Yeah.
That's where Chase's favorite thing is to get the chicken. It's a basket of gravy. Yeah, that's his favorite place to eat, so.
Good job, Chase.
Yeah.
I have this, well, it's resolution 05/05/2025 that the sheriff was talking about for prisoner board. Well, we talked about it last week when he was here, and then we talked about changing the date, and then somebody asked me if I had it, and I said no. And Betsy didn't have it. Well, then the sheriff sends me a thing and said, no, I didn't bring that in because he wanted to clarify something with her. So evidently you're done with that now, so now we can go ahead and sign this because it was adopted or approved last week.
It was approved last week.
Yeah.
Some changes, so I think he just,
He said he wanted to ask you something, so he sent it to me. So, and then you said to go ahead and have him sign it. You thought that would be okay. And we
it
don't
was
have,
approved last week.
yeah, so it just
So they
needs
just need
a
signature.
signature.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Teresa, maybe you know this, I was looking on those AP, those registers, and I wasn't sure, what is, medical air services, is that, and, the new Synergy, and that was for.
Medical air is, you pay.
It's insurance for,
Somebody
air
out of your check
ambulance.
to have a helicopter, to help pay for a helicopter, whatever.
Oh,
Pick
okay,
you
It's a
up.
benefit.
okay.
Yeah,
And then,
and the new Synergy is, what do they call it? You get money taken out of your check to help you pay for medicine or medical supplies or
so,
something.
it's okay, and then the pet partners is for the insurance for your dog
Mhm.
or cat or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't sure.
So the reason why that's on there is because when we went to a commissioner's conference and they said, there was a guy talking and he said, the most thing people want is pet insurance for their thing. And so Katie offers it. So we don't pay anything towards it. It's just a
It's just a
benefit
deduction.
that if the employee wants to.
Oh, I
It's
wanted
like
to.
$40-some, so they must just have 2 people then taking it.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Yeah, there's not very many
Sign up.
people even though.
So I forgot to give you an update. I got an email from a constituent that was really pleased with registered deeds and the fraud alert.
Yes.
So I just wanted to give a shout out to Jackie for that, because I guess she helped them secure all the properties they own. And so they were very appreciative. Wanted me to pass that on to you guys, so.
Yeah, I think it's a great service that we provide.
And the same residents, they've got a speed limit sign issued. And so I said, well, I'll talk to Jeremy first about it, have him look at it, and if you don't get anywhere, then let me know, so.
That's in town. I don't know how many people complaining about me when they go down our street. We've got more kids down there too. I told them, I said, I might get one of those little kids planes slow down because they're going more than 30 down there, they
Oh,
just
yeah.
are. It's horrible.
Okay, here's change orders.
Any more of those kids ride those scooters.
Yeah. Wow.
And which brought the conversation, I didn't know, they passed that 3, they call them the tricycle, where it's like a motorcycle, it's a racer type thing, that they could drive. But, when I was driving, on, that road by, Old State Farm Building, what is that street called? By IHOP, is that just?
It's East Ash Street.
But shoot, I almost ran into a guy on a unicycle was riding.
Really?
Yes, they can't. And when I was in Manhattan, I was stopped at Tuttle Creek in Bluemont, going across to Hobby Lobby. And there was a guy in traffic on a
Unicycle?
a scooter, those scooters that they.
Yeah. I think that'd be pretty scary. Those things are pretty small.
I was just thinking that.
Which is what I did not get.
I didn't get a chance to sign off, yes. That's what needs to do it, I should.
Oh, Kathy, you didn't sign this
I'll make a motion that we accept the change orders.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Okay.
I have a question in this protocol, I don't know what I was thinking about this, maybe I was thinking about this. When we do these, make a motion second, can you not do that, or it seems like it's always Trish and I, always.
Well, usually it's the
Chairman.
chair usually doesn't unless it's their particular thing, so.
Well, it just seems like the conversation is us two and making the stuff, and then, that's what, you think a 3-person board, then it's kind of strange, but I was.
Usually the chair doesn't make the motion, he entertains a motion.
Right, but I was looking in the commission desktop, and it said a commission
Sure.
chair can participate in that. I just was wondering, sometimes it just seems like Trish and I are, that there should be some more input from you.
Well, that I agree with, but yeah.
Usually.
You know what I'm saying? Because it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but as far as the motion wise, usually the chair's the one that entertains the motion.
Yeah.
They can make a motion, they can.
Well, I mean, you used to,
Not when I was the chair, I would say I entertain a motion.
and I'm not being critical about
No,
that. I'm
no,
just
no, I
saying
know.
that that's not, that I just felt like that sometimes it just seems like that, if I made a motion, then can you not second?
I can.
You can, yeah. So anyway, I just was thinking about that the other night is what,
Like, let's just, for instance, you make a motion, Trish doesn't agree with it, so she doesn't second it, but I do agree with it, so I can second it.
it just seems like sometimes there just needs to be that. And I was, like I said, I was looking at that and I was like, well, like, you can.
Yeah, they can, but usually when the chair's the one that's running the meeting, so then they entertain the motion to, But yeah, I mean, if you want to second something and Keith does, he can, or he can make the motion himself, but.
Well, it seems like you look at me like, it's
Oh,
up
I'm
to
waiting
me.
for a second.
Yeah, right, and what if I didn't, then?
Then I can.
Okay, but then, yeah, okay.
And then you would just show as
As you
voting
need.
nay or abstaining.
I see your question.
You, have minutes?
Yeah,
It just
minutes,
seems like it's just kind of one-sided, or, I don't know, just
from the special meeting on the 28th. Did everybody get those right? I know Trish did.
Yeah,
was
I
good.
didn't have.
Okay. Like I told, I said, I really struggled with that because I listened to it, and I thought, God, I can't do verbatim.
I thought you did a good job of.
I tried to hit high spots, yeah.
You did great.
Okay, so if I could get a motion for 428.
I'm not gonna make the motion, Kathy, do it.
You're making a motion
Yeah,
for the minutes?
yeah,
Special meeting.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve the special, minutes from the special meeting.
I'll second.
I don't know what made me.
We still have to do all the other stuff.
Yeah, so now you say it's been moved and seconded and all voted, or all said aye.
Yeah, all in
or
favor, say aye.
whatever.
I got us all messed up, Kathy.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I am
we're off
trademark.
track.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay, now for the 5th of May. Did you send me something, Trish? My email has been screwed up all weekend. I couldn't get it on my phone and, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for last week.
Okay.
I did send it to you though, but I got a thing back saying you weren't in,
Yeah,
so yeah, I did send it to you.
Okay, all right. So then Keith has, he wanted me to say that the live stream, because of technical difficulties, we didn't have it at the beginning. But I have on here, the live stream is up, but there was no sound. Which is weird. I wonder why that happens. Because usually it's hooking onto the internet. And I will ask Trent about some kind of microphone, or wireless, or how we could hook the wireless up for that so that people could hear.
Somebody came in with
That was
information.
Rick Dexter.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I don't guess we can do that. And so if nobody else had any more changes on the 5th, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
The movement saying all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay. I think that's all I got. And next week, you want on the agenda, you're gonna talk about the number of people on the CBB board,
Yes.
Yes,
and you don't want that during your review, you want a separate line, okay?
I think so.
And
Yeah,
who decides who makes up that board then?
We do.
Is it-
we do.
We do, okay.
You guys appoint them, but they've had
And
trouble
they should
keeping
be
a quorum.
staggered. I asked that the other day, that they're staggered terms.
So does Raquel have a list of who was appointed at what
I asked her
time?
to look it up.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
Okay.
Well, like I said, will you let her know that, Keith Henry is interested in being on the board?
Yeah.
So we're not gonna talk about EMS anymore. Yay!
That is a huge relief, I'm sure, for everybody involved.
Oh, yeah. Betsy says, oh, thank you.
Teresa, did you all go home and print that bill and for the clock, which I did get a clock?
Oh,
Are they
yeah.
just-
And where do you wanna
just
put it?
right there?
On the other side of the courthouse picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, right. Yeah.
Or you want it somewhere different?
No, I was thinking for the public, for them to see it.
What?
We're the
If
ones
it's
who need to
behind
see
them,
it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you
The
were.
clock
The
where
clock.
it fitted.
Oh.
Kathy got a clock for the
What do they
room.
need to know?
Yeah.
They're asking, they're
Say
at
they're
their
going
home.
by the RS.
When they have a clock, I assume at their home.
I would hope.
Yeah.
So I'll have building maintenance get that up before next week.
Do you guys have anything to add to the goal thing? I mean, you don't have to answer now, but be thinking about it. The goal.
Oh, goal.
Yeah.
I thought you said bowl.
Goal.
I was
Goal.
gonna say bowls? Bowls of what?
Well, that's good.
So what are you guys doing now for the jail? You just wait until justice planners get back with you?
Yeah. And then I guess, go from there and start to figure out what we're gonna do. Cause that's gonna be very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can Jeremy give us a rundown or, what they're doing with the rural roads? Because, in our survey, that was one of the big things is roads and stuff. So I'm obviously not on them that much, but on, that seems to be in town and out of town is roads and quality of the roads. And someone had asked about, if they put down gravel on or whatever, they did something to their road, then is the county gonna come and, go over it and scrape it off and stuff like that? But just for GP, Well, he'll be I here, guess. Next week, I can have him put that in his report. Well, his, where they've hauled gravel, where they've
Well, I
done
think the people
extensive
would want
work.
to know, and for me, I'd like to be able to, because like I said, that was one of the things I really got.
Yeah,
hit
that
up
was a
about
lot
roads,
on
rural
there,
roads.
yeah.
Well, I don't think the public knows how much we spend on rock.
Well, they
I
don't know how
learned
many
that
miles
the
of
quality of
gravel
rock
road
is
we
getting
have.
better, so, that.
And they don't know how many miles of gravel road there is.
Yeah.
Even though we're a small county, there's a lot of gravel road.
Yeah, they
Or
don't
maybe
understand
if
that.
people knew or.
And they ain't straight, and they ain't flat.
No,
Nope. No, I think, and now that they have a software system, I think that maybe there might be something looking
Some
into
kind
where
of
they could
report.
show,
yeah.
hey, these are where we've been, these are where we're planning on going. I mean, I'd love to have that in the city too.
Well, I mean, that one person, was telling me about it, that, they use that road for a training road. So they scraped it to where there was nothing on it, and then when they got that, had
Oh, you
that
mean
flood
to
last
train new
year,
people?
the county was using it for a training. So they kept going back and forth on it, and then, when they had all that rain, then that was part of their problem with their flooding, is because they didn't have any berm or whatever. So all that runoff
Well,
and
and
everything.
ditches, that's always an issue too, drainage. But yeah, it might, be good if Jeremy could give a monthly update on where they've been, where they're going, and then kind of how much rock they've been through. Just kind of share the financial breakdown.
He does have a good lengthy report, but I just didn't know how if that information is easily, something you can
Well-
easily get, that doesn't take a lot of his time, that maybe even if it's quarterly or something,
Well, they should
so-
have a printout now. I know back in the day when they did all by paper, gosh.
In defense of that, there was some reluctance in them getting that at the time too.
What?
Getting them onto computers and stuff, they didn't want to do
Right.
it, so.
Well, it makes things more streamlined. I don't know
Yeah.
why anybody would not
Well,
want it,
there
even
was-
though I know technology is,
It was scary to them. I mean, when I saw
Yeah.
the employees.
but the manpower.
How are they were gonna do that? I mean, that's just with credit cards, remember that, Teresa, when it's like, all you gotta do is, it's not that big of a deal. Just, we got that new and they didn't want to use that either.
So you started telling me about your knee. What are they doing with it
Well,
besides your old?
Yeah.
This-
so he said there's not enough fluid to make it, for.
Are we
drink.
Are we done?
Are we done?
Adjourned?
Yeah, and there's nobody coming in for public comments
No.
now, so, yeah,
Okay.
we're adjourned.
All right.